Thanks to the supporters of channel member Tildesley95. In all my years playing Football Manager, I'm not sure I've ever been happier just cruising along in mid-table. It's awesome. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 30 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Premier League. We're away against Forest and at home against Spurs. Since you were last with me, we've played a little handful of games. Some good results in here as well, including a draw away against Chelsea. We beat Arsenal at home. We did get thumped by Manchester City, but did beat a very, very good Newcastle team. This Newcastle team is bonkers, by the way. Just to show you, I mean, they've got Osimhen and Isaac up front. They've got Kimmich at the back. It's they've spent some money on that team and we beat them, and that's lovely stuff. All of which leaves me at the end of the stupidly long international break that apparently we're going to be subjected to in the future. It just seems to be a standard thing, just the one international break during the season, but it's a month long and it's madness. And we do friendlies and stuff while it's happening, but we are back from that today. And we are back with us 13th place in the table, a game in hand on almost everybody above us. And looking pretty good. I mean, Sheffield United and Birmingham haven't even got a point yet. Bournemouth and Leeds haven't won a game. I don't think there's any fear of us being in a relegation battle this season. It's just going to be a nice, comfortable mid-table season while our wonder kids continue to improve, which is all good stuff. I can't believe Evan Ferguson is still at Brighton, age 25. That is madness, and he is scoring goals for fun, and I don't understand why nobody signed him. He's not even hugely expensive. Are we going to sign Evan Ferguson? Probably not this season because we've got no money. Money is it's problematic, but we're not going to worry about it. We have made another signing. We signed Nicolai Suarez, who, if you remember, I could never pronounce the name of when he was on loan with us before, and I still don't know how to pronounce his name now. I think we're going with Suarez. He's joined us on loan for the season from Manchester United again. They wouldn't let us have him last year, but we've got him on loan, paying his full salary. We do have an optional future fee of £57 million, which we're realistically never going to be able to pay. So it might just be a one-season thing, but who knows? He came to us and since arriving with us has played 3 times for England during that international break we've just had. So he's made his England debut and played a couple more times since, which, I feel it's a little bit harsh on Lewis Jackson, who, if I can find him, I know Suarez has come in and knocked him out of the team, but he's played a full season in the Premier League and is of roughly equivalent quality. He is a few years older, but Suarez has come in. He's played 4 substitute appearances for Man United last season and started 3 games in the Premier League for us, and that's enough to get him 3 England caps age 20. It does also mean as well that we've now got a very fancy central defensive partnership, one of which is on loan from Manchester United, one of which on loan from Barcelona. The Barcelona one's already joining us permanently. Maybe we can get the Manchester United one permanently as well. Who knows? But we're a good side, and hopefully we'll prove it in what I guess is a Nottingham derby. We're playing in Nottingham this season. We're away against Forest. Going away against Forest is nothing unusual. I guess the really unusual one will be later in the season. Potentially one of our last games at this stadium in Nottingham is going to be at home to Nottingham Forest, which I assume will be their first ever Premier League away game in Nottingham. I think we moved back to the Pirelli. Yeah, the 4th of March. So it'll actually be our last game at the Peter Shilton Stadium. We'll be at home to Nottingham Forest in a Nottingham derby, and then we head back to Burton and play in front of tiny crowds. Because look, we get decent crowds. 18,000 turned up for the Newcastle game. 25,000 came up to watch us play Arsenal. 17,000 against Everton. We don't want to go back to the Pirelli. We like it here in Nottingham. Let's go play Forest. This is our team. We've got Quintana in goal, who, by the way, has now made his international debut as well. Again, during that really long international break, he went in without any caps. He's come back with 4 caps. So Quintana is a Uruguayan international. The back 4 is Sousa, Suarez, Kubasi and Daniels. Homo and Oscar in midfield. And then Idumbo, Mazambo, Devine and O'Donoghue behind Leeburn up front. And Leeburn has got himself fit and started scoring goals. He's kind of picked up where he left off last season. 3 goals from his first 4 appearances. Alfie Devine had a little bit of an injury, but also has 3 goals from 4 appearances. So those two playing like it's the championship all over again. And we're like I say, we're playing well. We look like a good side. We're still only on average team cohesion. And I do wonder as and when this team starts to gel, because there's obviously a lot of new players in it this year, but as the team starts to gel, and as these very young players start to benefit from all of this exposure, all this Premier League football, international football for a few of them now, they're going to start to push on and get better and better as well. I wonder if even this season we could have a sneaky little try at maybe winning a cup, maybe qualifying for Europe. 7th, 8th place, if we could get that far, would probably be enough for the Conference League. It would be jolly nice. It's not really part of the plan. That's the ambitious version of the plan. Obviously, plan A is still very much survive in the Premier League. If we survive in the Premier League, we'll be happy. That would be 3 years in a row. But if we continue playing as well as we are, the sky's the limit. Who knows what might happen? And Alfie Devine has just got his 4th goal of the season. He heard that threat that I made to him in the summer of moving him back to play as one of the holding midfield players, and just like it did the first time around when I signed him to play there, threatening to drop him back into that position. I've been training him to play there. It seems to have motivated him to start scoring goals again. 4 goals already for him, enough to put us 1-0 up in this game. And I mean, as it stands right now, because this is a game in hand, as it stands, this would put us up to 7th place, which would potentially even be a Europa League spot, never mind Conference League. I think England usually gets one of those extra coefficient places, so it's usually top 5 going to Champions League, and then depending on what happens in the cups, 6th and 7th are usually Europa League, and 8th has been Conference League over the last several years. So it's a nice spot for us to be in, and I think Leeburn has been fouled there. It's a penalty right on the stroke of half-time. Possibly. The referee's going over to his little telly. Ref, if you're not going to give us the penalty after stopping the play when we had the ball inside the 6-yard box, I'll be quite cross. So fingers crossed, this is going to be a penalty. I mean, traditionally, we've not even been very good at penalties, so it doesn't necessarily help us. We'd have probably been better with the ref playing advantage. But he has given the penalty as we head towards the 47th minute of the match, and it's going to be Leeburn to take. The comment section is celebrating that we finally got a striker taking our penalties, and it's Leeburn, and he scores. It's a proper penalty by a player in a Burton shirt. What will they think of next? That's Leeburn up to 4 goals for the season as well, just like Devine, and those two are loving life again, and it's wonderful. He's just hit that so hard. It's a very good penalty. 2-0 up at half-time in what I'm going to call the Nottingham Derby. Well, I guess we're supposed to be friends with Forest. The enemy of our enemy should be our friends. And of course, our big rival, they've still forgotten, but our big rival, as far as we're concerned, very much Derby. I would like to think at this point, with us being in the Premier League and Derby presumably Championship, League One, I imagine Derby have got slightly stronger feelings for us in this universe than they have in reality, and probably don't like us at all, in which case Forest fans are going to have some mixed feelings today, because it's going to upset Derby that we're doing so well, but obviously it's going to upset them that we're doing it at their expense. Look at Suarez. He's got a couple of international caps, and now he's back heeling it to his left back. Leeburn is in again. Leeburn has scored again. It's the Devine and Leeburn show. It's like the Championship all over again. Devine hits the ball over the top. Leeburn gets one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and it's only ever going to be one result. This is a lovely ball forward from Alfie Devine. Leeburn, lovely first touch. Dunks it past the goalkeeper. 3-0 on the hour mark. It's been easy peasy. Is Burton East Midlands or West Midlands or just Midlands? I'm trying to decide if I can declare us the best team in the East Midlands, but I suspect Burton probably doesn't class as the East Midlands. I know Nottingham does. I think Derby does. Leicester are above us, they're East Midlands, and Wolves are above us, who are West Midlands. So we're not even the second best team in the Midlands overall yet, but that's the next goal. We want to be kings of the Midlands. That would be lovely. Right, Devine, recovering from injury, is going to come off. We can bring Adala on for him. O'Donoghue's not had the best of times out there, so Angelo can come on for him. And Sousa is on a yellow card and not playing particularly well, so Dylan Smith can come on and play left back. He's 6'4". It's not ideal for him to be playing at left back, but you know, he's like our very own Dan Burn. And what did Dan Burn ever do wrong, eh? Right, let's make our final couple of substitutions. Idumbo Mazambo is going to come off for Solari. What is his first name? Because that's a lot of words to say. Stanis? He's just Stanis from now on. Stanis is good. we're gonna do the proper nickname. Just Stannis, thank you. That's enough, because I can say Stannis without offending anybody. Right, there you go. So Stannis comes off and Solari comes on. And we're also going to take off Daniels and bring on Dubai, who after breaking our transfer record in the summer, although we did then break it again subsequently, but Dubai hasn't really established himself in the team yet. But I mean, Suarez is definitely a player that he's hung out with previously. They were part of that championship back four, as was Jackson. We're just reassembling all the loanees that we had in the championship. It just took us a little bit longer. That's why we suffered a little bit last year, because we had to put our own defence back together again, so we couldn't afford to buy them all when we got promoted. Adala releases Dubai, and now Dubai gives it to Angelo. Angelo slides it across to Lieburn, and that is a 6'5" hat-trick. I don't think I've told you how tall he is today. Well, there you go. Miles Lieburn, write this down. You should remember, I'll be testing you on this at the end of the season. Miles Lieburn is 6'5", and today he's scored a hat-trick. And it's wonderful. Good work from Angelo to just slide it across to him. And Lieburn's just not missing. The form he's in at the moment, he must be amongst the Premier League's top scorers, despite starting the season injured. And that is an excellent performance from him today. We've come to Forest. We've beaten them 4-0. We might not be the kings of the Midlands yet, but we are the best team in Nottingham. And the Forest fans are going to love that. Is Lieburn top scorer in the Premier League? He is one behind Ferguson. Where's that big guy who plays for Man City? Why isn't he on the top scorers list? Have they sold him? Matt, why are Man City down in mid-table? Have they sold him? No. Oh, he's there. He's injured. He's only just got injured, though. Haaland, 3 goals from 6 appearances. He's like a B-Tech Lieburn, isn't he, Erling Haaland? Let's go play Spurs. Of course, we're halfway through the episode. I should probably address the TYCOON takeover situation. We might not be getting it now. We had a lot of messages come through about it initially, but it's no longer in my inbox. We had a message come through saying one of the potential people who was looking to take over has pulled out, and we're now showing an owner status of loves the club from our apparently rich club, but it doesn't look like there is any more a TYCOON takeover potentially about to happen, which is very sad. I'm trying to get to the screen that actually says when the last takeover that we had was. So our last takeover was in 2025, so that was before I arrived at the club, I think, when Ashley Walker took over. Has now been here 4 years. He's a local businessman, apparently, and no mention of takeovers or anything happening since. So I think that's probably ended. The only thing that makes me think there might still be potential to it is when we got the message come through, it did say one of the potential consortiums had pulled out. So theoretically, we're still for sale, but we've not gone into transfer embargo, and it does look like it's probably not happening. But now I've mentioned it, I can still put it on the thumbnail. So just the one change for the Spurs game. We've picked up a knock to Sousa, who has now got... What's wrong with Sousa? Sousa has got a yellow leg, so he's not going to be able to play. So Ainita can come in and start at left back. Otherwise, it is the same team that has been playing so very well over these first few matches. Spurs are actually top of the league, or at least they were top of the league coming into this match. So Spurs are, again, what a topsy-turvy universe. But are in the Premier League. Spurs are actually good. It's weird times in 2029 in English football, but Spurs are quite good at football, and we'd like to beat them. We'd like to continue our quest to become the biggest team in the Midlands. I mean, in all seriousness, I kind of said it was a potential maybe thing to think about. If, and this is a big if, but if we can beat Spurs today, I think we genuinely have to start trying to get into Europe. Has anybody turned up for this football match, by the way? We're playing against top of the table Spurs. They're all in the upper tier. I wonder where in Nottingham this is. What a weird thing to have built. Why not just, if you're going to invest loads of money building a ground in Nottingham for the Euros, why not let Forest have it afterwards? Or at the very least, Notts County. Let one of the Nottingham teams move into it. The fact that this is just stood here empty, it's not got a running track, so they're not doing athletics or anything here. It's just been an empty football ground. I imagine they have the local secondary school cup. They play the final here. I guess it must be owned by the council. Maybe Peter Shilton himself owns it. Who knows? But it's a very odd thing, especially as looking at the terraced housing behind it, it looks like, rather than it being a big out-of-town sports complex, looks like they've just kind of built it in the city centre, which is doubly odd. Knock down a load of houses or a local park and put up a massive football stadium that then nobody uses until Burton Albion turn up and play Premier League football there for 9 months. Like I said, 2029 is a weird year. We're 1-0 down as well. Spurs have just scored. It's very sad. That does put them back to the top of the league. But we have a never say die attitude. We were losing against Arsenal and we came back to beat them. We were losing against Newcastle and we came back to beat them. I don't know if both of those things are true, but we definitely came from behind in at least one of those games. I was using my walking pad while playing them, so I don't remember for sure. But Miles Leeburn has just got the equaliser. I think the referee might be ruling this out. He didn't look offside. He looked like he came from behind the defenders, but we will have a look at the replay. He has ordered. Yeah, I didn't think that looked offside. Normally you can tell because it's quite a deep cross from O'Donoghue, and the cross comes in any time now, and he's nowhere near offside. I mean, okay, the cross is a little bit delayed. I mean, I imagine we're going to get the line on the pitch in a minute because maybe he was offside. Unless he was behind O'Donoghue, maybe? I don't need to worry. I'm not the VAR. I'm just happy that we've grabbed an equaliser and fingers crossed can go on and win the game. We're, again, playing really well. We're well ahead on XG. It would just be nice if we could go out and grab another goal, please and thank you. 1-1 at half-time. Spurs are panicking. They've made a double half-time change. That's panic if ever I saw it. And let's go and beat them. Let's offer some encouragement. What have we got on the bench that we could potentially use as a weapon against them? Why can't I get down and look at my substitutes bench? I mean, there are some decent attacking options. Angelo, Pocho, Adala, there's a few attacking options that could come on. O'Donoghue plays it to Devine. Now O'Donoghue again. O'Donoghue is in. That's a lovely finish from Damien O'Donoghue. Started the season, of course, playing as a striker. With the return of Leeburn, O'Donoghue's moved back out to the right-hand side, but he looks like he's taken goals with him because that is a lovely finish. I mean, it's about time. A player with the Wonder Kid media label who, I mean, even trying to put the nicest possible spin on it. He had a very disappointing first season in the Premier League. We've kept faith with him, though, even though Angelo was coming on mega money to compete with him. And he is starting to perform at Premier League level. Our front four have all played very well today. And we're 2-1 up with 20 minutes to go against the team that were top of the league going in. And all three of them need to come off. They're all tired. I mean, they've all worked very hard. I don't mind them coming off in these circumstances. Adala's not fit to come on, though, which is not ideal. I mean, how not fit to come on is he? He's got a bruised... it's a bruise. You can play with a bruise, you coward. He's coming on for Stanis. We'll put Pocho out on the left, which we've done a little bit recently, and play them as the three. We've got to keep energy in that area. It's where all of our power comes from this attacking midfield three behind Leeburn. Leeburn kind of drags them around all over the place. By the way, you might have noticed Leeburn now playing as a target forward rather than a pressing forward. I don't know if that's made a difference in why he's scoring even more this season. It was the role Ross Stewart used to use, but we always used Leeburn as a pressing forward in the Championship. But upon his return from injury, we've made Leeburn a target forward, and he seems to be scoring more goals, which is nice. Spurs have equalised, which is less nice. They've cut through our defence really quite easily there as well. Quintana probably couldn't be expected to stop that. I mean, we certainly take a 2-2 draw against a team that were top of the league. Right, Ionita is tired. So we're going to do something we've done a couple of times, actually, and just shuffle this around a little bit. We're going to play Padjoy as an inverted wing-back and then Daniels as an inverted fullback. So we experiment with this quite a lot on Twitch and in the beta save here on YouTube as well, playing with the positional rotations and basically when we've got the ball, back three, because Daniels is a centre-back playing at right-back and Padjoy is a midfielder playing at left-back. So defend as a 4, but go to a 3 and a 3 when we've got the ball. It's worked quite well. We did it in what I think it was against Arsenal. We did it, and it kind of cut Saka out the game, which is always a nice thing to be able to do when you're playing Arsenal. But Let's see if it works today, shall we? There's Kubasi, who of course is a midfielder playing at centre-back. So we've got lots of players who can play in lots of different roles within our midfield and our defence. Oscar's giving the ball away there, which is a little bit sloppy, but Homo's there to cover him, which is very much needed. And now Kubasi to Suarez. Have the substitutions been made? We don't seem to have dropped into this 3-3 shape that I wanted us to drop in. We've certainly not had Daniels tuck in. He's still got paint on his boots. And we've given the ball away again there. Can we please not gift Spurs win? Now we finally have Pajoy tucking in just when we don't want him to. And they've directly scored from Pajoy not really knowing what position he was supposed to be playing in. Managerial fiddling. I've brought that upon myself. Is the referee going to disallow it? Managerial genius. He was offside because we didn't have the extra defender in there to play him on. It was all deliberate. Yeah, Pajoy would have been there before, playing him on side. You're welcome. I've saved us there. I'm claiming. I will claim it. I call that. That's my tactical genius. I mean, I'm button clicking. I don't know what's got into me. Oh my word! I don't know what's got into Quintana there. He's giving the ball away, but now Pocho trying to get the counter attack going, and he can't. We're going to offer a little bit of encouragement. It seemed to have had the opposite effect that it had against Arsenal, switching to this effectively back three, because we now seem to be pinned back and they're really coming for us. Spurs do seem to be going for the jugular and trying to win the game, which we've kind of invited them back into it. It's not really worked today, but I mean, we've ended up drawing against the team at the top of the league, so we don't have too much to complain about. We're not competing for the title. We're just happy to be here, and we are still nicely mid-table in the Premier League, 14 points on the board. I mean, we're only 3 points behind second place Brighton, and we are so well clear. I mean, Sheffield United and Birmingham, both challenging to break Derby's record of worst points total ever in the Premier League. We're a quarter of the way through the season, and neither of them have a point. That record might be... I assume that's still the record. Lowest points is what I'm looking for. Yeah, fewest points of the season. Oh, it's actually Stoke. Is it? I mean, do we count an 1890 record? We're talking Premier League, aren't we? Let's do it the Sky Sports style. We're talking Premier League. It looks like it's getting broken this year. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.